Hello there, my beautiful Cancer signs. This is Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's tarot video is a traditional Celtic cross spread where I pull usually it's about 10 cards, but I had a lot of clarifiers come flying out, so I took those. So I have about, 15 cards for you today. And I usually pull a bunch of oracle cards after the message, but when I was meditating on your energy, I was kind of guided to do things in reverse. So I actually was meditating, listening to music. That's kind of how I get into my gamma brainwave frequency, which is basically the transcendental state. And that is through music for me. And the song that I was guided to listen to was Breakin' Dishes by Rihanna. So that's going to be the title. So if you're drawn here by the title, then chances are there's either a message for you in those lyrics, or there's probably a larger message for you in the tarot and oracle spread as well. Now, this does have to do with love, but I do feel like for a lot of you, you're leaving some sort of toxic relationship or situationship or friends with benefits thing because there's not a lot of clarity, and you have a choice to make here that's pretty obvious, really. Now, there is an energy about the breaking dishes thing. I kind of want to tap into that because I take that literally and metaphorically. Like sometimes, especially for me, I have this weird thing where like I will have tea or sometimes coffee. I'm more of a tea person, but I will have like a mug that I use pretty consistently for a while, and then all of a sudden one day I wake up and like I broke it somehow. Like I don't know how this happens. Like, it seems almost like a clumsy thing, but like sometimes we put negative energy into things when we're feeling stressed, or we're, going to that cup of wine, cup of coffee, and we're holding on to it. And without even realizing, we can almost integrate our negative energy into that specific thing. And for my thing, I usually input a lot of negative energy into my cups, into my mugs, and then at some point they break, which is unfortunate because I like to have my stuff that I pay for. But, it's kind of just how my energy, my negative energy disperses. So if that's happening to you, if you're accidentally breaking dishes, chances are, or you're accidentally breaking your like favorite dish, chances are it's a bunch of negative energy that got transmuted into that particular item. And even though it seems a little bit weird or like a coincidence, perhaps maybe, sometimes it's like a subconscious thing we do energetically that, we can't obviously see, but we do it without even realizing why. And for me, that's typically mugs. So I don't know why I was guided to show you this mug today either. This is like one of my favorite quotes from Jane Eyre. It says, "I am no bird, no net ensnares me." So if you've been feeling trapped in a relationship, you might want to go watch that movie. It's kind of like not the best movie for feminine messages and toxic relationships, but it's one of my all-time favorites. I don't really understand why, but it's like one of those like romantic ones. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you go see the movie. If you don't feel guided to read the book, make sure you see the movie with Michael Fassbender. Like that's my favorite. He's my favorite. So yeah. Anyways, end rant. Let's dive in to tarot Cancer and see what's going on for you. All right, so right away, what you're searching for, what you're seeking, what you're wanting is this 10 of Cups energy. This is like legacy, happiness, total fulfillment. In a delusional fantasy land, you can have all of the things you want always. But, life has hiccups and we don't always get what we want all the time. So the challenge right now that's crossing you is healing and strength. So the Four of Swords came out, which is a card of healing and recovery and rejuvenation and contemplation. Basically, this is also a card of like self-awareness, self-accountability, and strength is obviously strength. So there's perseverance energy here that needs to really push you through. And sometimes that's really hard to embody when we're going through a tough time when it comes to love, or if we've been betrayed or deceived. And it can be, love in a friendship way. It doesn't have to be in a romantic way. But for some of you, I do feel like this is definitely a romantic energy. But for others of you, there's definitely something about friendship as well. So I do feel like you're finding your self-worth and your self-value by healing and doing that introspective work, Cancer. But the foundation of everything here, like what's pushing you for this, is the Ace of Pentacles. So there's some sort of opportunity coming your way. It could just be an opportunity to heal and grow and reflect, but I do feel like this is more of a tangible situation where there's going to be like maybe a business endeavor you feel guided to pursue, or a friendship or a group you're going to join that's going to bring some sort of balance into your life. Now, in the recent past here, you have the Lovers card. This is Gemini energy. So I do feel like a lot of you were dealing with some sort of love situation and maybe not seeing eye to eye, especially with the Breaking Dishes song. It's like somebody comes in at like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, where have you been? And they're like, nowhere. And it's like that gaslighting, manipulative behavior when you're like dating someone who's not as fully invested as you are. And that can be very frustrating if you are wanting different things. So I think maybe just coming to terms right now, Cancer, with what it is that you want and healing from the past is going to bring you a lot more balance and harmony as well, because in your current energy you also have the Six of Pentacles. This is about open-heartedness, equal giving, reciprocity, also about karma. And you have another card which I love to see here about karma for you as well. So this is the win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. As long as you've had good and pure and positive intentions, then you are golden. So make sure, Cancer, that you've been coming from a place of love and not a place of fear, because if you come from a place of fear, that's low frequency, that's low energy, that's low vibration. And that's like scientific fact, okay? You can prove this. When you are in that negative state and that negative energy, you draw in people who are also in that negative energy, that negative frequency. When you haven't healed psychological wounds from childhood or from past relationships or things like that, you also draw in people who are at that same level, that same frequency, because it's basically a trigger for you to almost like be attracted to that person, so that way you both can have a better chance at healing those wounds. Now, typically what happens during a breakup is one person starts to do the healing work, and then the other person either maintains or plateaus, or even sometimes in the worst case scenario, they kind of start to wilt. I don't know how else to put that. It's like they get worse with time because their insecurity and their negative energy feeds and fuels something inside of them, and it basically turns them into a fraction of themselves. Instead of actually like growing together, you grow apart, and that's usually what causes relationships to end. Now, here in the near future, you have the Nine of Pentacles, Cancer. This is about putting the work in. This is about investing in yourself in time and money and effort and those sorts of things. This is also a very single and independent energy. It doesn't have to be, but I do feel like for a majority of you, you are learning how to be single. And whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, I do feel like you're kind of throwing yourself into that work. So it could be just some way that you're transmuting pain from the past. It could be through some sort of art or creative form, music even. There's a lot of different, ways that you can transmute your energy. For some of you, it might even be like exercising or trying a new form of meditation as well. So joining a group for those things can be helpful. Yoga. I was just reading something about yoga again. That can be a way to transmute things. Pilates is a great way to work on yourself as well. And it's kind of like yoga and Pilates are actually like way more involved than most people think. So if you've never tried it or done it, I highly recommend going to a session. It's just very, very challenging in such a way that you wouldn't think that it would be, like compared to most people like exercising and like dead weighting and stuff like that. But anyways, the next cards I have for you are like, what's your advice here? It's not a great card set, I'm not gonna lie. It's like your advice is you have this beginner energy with that Page of Pentacles, so you have a seed of opportunity that you're planning here, and that's also cohesive with this like Ace of Pentacles message. But it's it's going to require some mental perseverance, but also mental growth. And that with it brings challenges, because it's like, maybe it's something you've never done before and you don't like to do things that you're not good at, which I can totally relate to because I'm like Sagittarius. And typically, you know, not only because I'm a Sagittarius, but because I'm like, I don't know, type A or INFJ or whatever it is, that type of personality, like I like to be good at something the first time I do it, and that's not always how that works. But you know, it's going to take a lot of pep talk to get yourself motivated out of an old cycle into something new. And I do feel like that's going to require patience, and it's going to require commitment and perseverance because of that Leo energy. Now, how do people see you? They see you as the Six of Wands. This is a celebratory card. This is a victorious card. So maybe in the next 6 months, you might have something to really, really celebrate here. 6 weeks to 6 months is what I'm getting for some reason. But there is going to be recognition and validation, I think, for like your efforts. So that's a positive thing. Now, in your hopes and fears, you have the King of Pentacles. For those of you, or sorry, why did I say King of Pentacles? King of Cups. That's weird. Okay. King of Pentacles is a very slow moving offer of love. So maybe there is going to be a very slow moving offer of love, but I feel like you're afraid at this time to maybe accept any offer of love because you're still like healing, you're still doing introspective work and stuff like that. And with this King of Cups energy, it's like you're afraid of somebody coming in and you're not ready, but you're also like maybe hopeful that somebody will come in and like actually be helpful in a relationship instead of like you having to like carry the whole thing by yourself. A lot of times when we find ourselves in a state of limerence, it can feel a lot like love, but it's an illusion, because at the end of the day, you know, if someone isn't lifting you up and trying to help support you in a positive way, not in a codependent way or a trauma bonded way, then, you know, what's the purpose? And if a relationship isn't based on trust, any relationship, a friendship even, if you don't have trust as the solid foundation there, you have nothing. That's what every relationship is based on, is trust. And if you can't trust someone, or trust yourself with that person, then chances are that's a giant red flag. So I caution you to make sure you're doing a lot of healing work first, so that way you can get to a state, hopefully, where you can really trust yourself, trust your instinct, trust that inner guidance. And I do feel like you will have that. It's just going to be it's just going to require a lot of perseverance when you're doing this healing. Now, in the potential outcome, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. I like this in ways. The Seven of Swords shows me that you've made some progress here, because you've moved from 5 of Swords to 7 of Swords, so there's progression. But 7 and 5 and 3 and 9, and when you get to those odd numbers, that usually symbolizes some sort of conflict or something's off a little bit. So with the Queen of Pentacles there, it's like you're being reserved, you're holding back a bit, but the Seven of Swords is almost like this escapist disassociation. Like maybe your coping mechanism is to like isolate or distract yourself with some maybe not great form of entertainment to hide away. And, you know, sometimes we just need that independent time where we are alone and we can self-reflect and be with our emotions, but we also have to be present with our emotions. And sometimes that's hard to do, especially when, you know, you can get on social media and distract yourself and scroll all day, or you can, you know, binge watch a series on Netflix and do that sort of thing. So take that message as it resonates, Cancer. And then the last tarot card I have for you is the Two of Swords. This is like you feel maybe a little bit stuck, perhaps in between a rock and a hard place. This can just be a mindset as well, not a situation, but more of like a, which way do I go? I don't understand. This is new territory. I've never been here before. All I see is A and B, and there might be an alternate route. So maybe there's something you're not seeing clearly, but that might be coming, like you might have clarity coming through the lunar cycles or through meditation as you do this healing and as you progress. it is going to be a slow progression, especially because I said that Knight of Pentacles energy. And Knights of Pentacles energy, when it comes to love and offering love, it can be a very long time. It could be up to 6 years before you really find someone who's on your level. And that sounds maybe a bit depressing. However, it is quality, not quantity, but it's also kind of necessary for the fixing of yourself when you've been in toxic patterns and toxic relationships and toxic friendships. Because there was some video I was watching, and it was basically like healing from trauma in a relationship. Minimally, usually it takes about 2 years to fully like comprehend and absorb and understand and forgive yourself for partaking or being a participant in a situation that wasn't serving yourself. And when you're in something that's not serving your highest best self, that's sinning. That's what sinning means. And I don't want to get on like a religious tangent because that's not what I'm here to do. But tarot is actually tied to the Torah, which is the Jewish Bible essentially, but it's also the first 5 books of the traditional Christian Bible. So there is a lot of religious attachment to tarot and the things that I do, which is interesting because there are people, everyone gets to choose their belief system and their value system. And I do feel like your mindset is shifting as you're healing and you're growing, and that's normal and that's natural. So don't be too impatient with yourself. And that's the first oracle card that's coming out here. So this one is tied to your throat chakra, which is all about speaking your truth. This is about authenticity. The blue on the outside of this card symbolizes your throat chakra. And then the impatience here is like you're reaching for the stars and the moon. Maybe you're wanting and wishing for more spiritual growth, but it's going to be a slow and steady thing. Because when I pulled the I Ching, 2 cards came flying out, which is very strange because that doesn't usually happen, especially on that deck, because it's like a huge, I think there's like 70, I feel like there's like 78 cards or 76 cards in the I Ching deck as well, but it's a huge deck. Now, you had number 29, repeating chasms, and then you had number 53, gradual progress. So to me, that is just symbolic of healing. Because time is not linear. It's not just past, present, future. It's more of a spiral. So as you go through healing and as you're trying to grieve, as you're getting closure, as you're grieving a relationship that's lost, a friendship that's lost, or an old version of yourself that's no longer who you are, you kind of go through spirals where you get tested to see if you're still going to be triggered by the same things, if you're still going to act in the same way, if you're still going to repeat the same patterns. So when you have this repeating chasms and gradual progress, it's like there's these little tidbits of tests that the universe and spirit throws out to us to see if we're ready for the next level, we're ready for the next step. And I do feel like you are trying to move forward in a positive way. It is just requiring a lot of patience and a lot of shifting. Now, you have the breathe card, which is also number 29. So something, again, about 29 is very significant here. Could be the 29th of the month, or it could just be an age. Now, breathe, when I see this card, to me, this is a giant sign to tell you to practice some sort of breathing technique. There's something called 9D breath work. There's something called Wim Hof that has a lot to do with breath work. It also has to do with like ice therapy. Hatha yoga is a great breathing based yoga thing. Like yoga thing, how can I describe it? A breathing based, it's a breathing based yoga thing. Like, but when we do these types of breath works, basically what breath work does is it can release trauma that our bodies hold that we don't even realize or maybe don't remember. And it can also stimulate our cerebral spinal fluid. And when our cerebral spinal fluid is stimulated through Hatha yoga or Wim Hof or those sorts of things, what it does is it creates pressure when we hold it in our pelvic area. And then when we release the breath and we release the pressure that we have built up. That cerebral spinal fluid goes up the spine. This is the land of milk and honey, okay? It goes up the spine. The milk and the honey cleanse your pineal gland, which is a tiny crystalline structure inside your brain, and it helps provide clarity, basically, to your connection with the ether or the quantum realm or spirit, however you want to call it. And this tiny little crystal structure in your brain basically acts as a transponder to help you connect to your higher self, to your inner God, essentially. And if you're like, that sounds like crazy hoopla, give it a Google. All right, this is scientific fact. This has been proven. It connects us to different dimensions, and we are in a 3D realm. And when we can tap in to our third eye and that sort of energy and align all of our chakras, we basically go through a Kundalini awakening, and then that helps us live in a 5D state of mind. So the fifth dimension is all about seeing and perceiving things from a higher reality. And when you're in the physical 3D world and you don't have your chakras in alignment, you're coming from a very primal state of fight or flight, and it's very much so an animalistic energy. Now, you also have release. This is from my Power of Love deck. So letting go of negativity, letting go of the past, and maybe you do need to go to break some dishes in order to move forward. There's those little, I forget what they call them, where you like go into the little room. I don't know what they are, but I've seen them on like TikTok and stuff, where you go into the room and you can like break things and beat things up, and you like garb up and you wear the mask, and then you take a baseball bat in the room and you can like go crazy. So maybe you need to like go do one of those things in order to express or release some energy that you've been hanging on to. So it says you have the ability to give over unwanted energies to the loving forces of the universe. So even just, holding a mug, putting all of your negative energy in that, and then maybe going and, breaking it on purpose. That could be a good way. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, then who cares? And then you have from my Moon Oracle deck, it says, what I seek is seeking me. This is about that energy attraction. So your vibration, your frequency is going to draw in people that are at your same level. And basically those people are coming in at you as mirrors sometimes. And, not all the time is it exactly the same level. Sometimes it's actually like lower frequencies to test you as well, to see if you're going to maybe revert back to an old version of you or something. But the next card I have is the seed. So this is like that Ace of Pentacles. You're planting the seed. I'm recording this video in the new moon in Capricorn time frame, and this is like the black moon because it's like the second new moon we've had in December. So something about your Capricorn house placement might be significant here, Cancer, but I do feel like that's all it's going to be, mostly about your work life or something along those lines where you're investing in yourself. And then let's see, the last card I have for you is the Owl card. This says pay attention to the winds of change. If you've been maybe wanting synchronicities or asking for synchronicities, just keep your eyes open, your eyes peeled. I find when I'm in alignment, I see the numbers 222 quite frequently, just anywhere, like license plates, billboards, gas stations, things like that, just like kind of seemingly random places that I happen to be, but that just might be a synchronicity for you. So pay attention to numerology and stuff like that, because I don't think everything is just coincidence. I think a lot of things are like almost subliminally subconscious messages for us to see that we don't always recognize. So be in that state of presentness and awareness, and I do feel like it's going to bring a lot of positive stuff for you. Oh, and there's one more card. This is my third eye intuition card. It says act. It says get your priorities straight, what really counts in your life right now, and take time to consider how you can use your intuition to guide you towards what's really important. And I do feel like that's going to be self-love, self-care, self-worth, and that's what you're going to be embodying for now in the next 6 weeks to 6 months. And I think that's going to draw in an even better King of Pentacles, King of Cups energy than you could even imagine. So great positive stuff for you, Cancer. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you feel guided, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me, or you can book a tarot session with me on my website in the link below. So I will see you next time.